talking. Ha, the volume's not even on. My mic was muted. That's what happens when you don't have a button for that. All right, so what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? I'm over here. I was talking, basically just greetings and all that stuff, so you didn't really miss much of what I said. So yeah, we're gonna be talking about the app. What did I do? What have I done? What's working? What's not working? Is anything broken? Well, the cool thing is, as of right now, the functionality that I have wanted is working. Nothing is not working. The demo gods are a thing. So, unfortunately, while I am showing you what this thing does, something will go wrong. So, I'm just going to put that out there right now. All right. First and foremost, those that dive into the stream with me, thank you. I'm still working on trying to get YouTube comments into the stream. So you're going to have to bear with me on that while I figure that one out. Still working on it, though, so that I can see. But I think I can actually, let me just take a second here to pop out the chat, actually. Let's go ahead and do that. Let me just pop out the chat so I can see what's going on. And we will, I don't know where I'll put it. I'll put it somewhere. We'll just put it right here for now. And we will go here. We don't need this if I have the chat window pulled out. I do need to see if my stream is okay, so that much is necessary. We'll put that right there. Cool. And then I have the, excuse me, I have the little buttons right here, so we're good there. Awesome. All right, let's dive back into the screen here. You guys should be able to see the full screen. Let me go ahead and maximize that there. Ooh, you can't see the thing because my video's in the way. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and for which one? Talking head. No, we're looking at the screen, and this one has the Canon, display capture, the Canon. We're going to minimize that. There we go. Or, you know, I could move it technically, so let's go ahead and just move that. There we go. Cool. All right, nice. Now you can see the app. Okay, cool. All right. So let's talk about what we got so far, huh? So first thing was most important. I wanted to be able to create a to-do. Right, so we had to build the database. So I've built out the database. Here is the abstract to-do database class. It extends room database. Still learning about these things. I'll be honest with you. Like, this is code that I got off of like the Android. Like, there was a coding lab that I went through, and I got some of this. So the one thing I do understand, though, this right here is a database builder, and essentially you're getting an instance of it. It's checking to see if that instance of the to-do database is null. If it's not, it builds a new one, and then it returns that instance. So that I do understand, and it tosses in the context, which is kind of cool. So if we go to the repository, we have an initialize DB function, toss in the context, and it goes ahead and takes this to-do database option here, or variable here, and or object, I believe, and then we get the instance, which gives the database the context, and I'm able to do all of these items that I need. It's pretty dope because I have different queries. So I have get all to-dos, that's for create, and then I have get all completed to-dos. And essentially, that was something that I thought of, and I'll talk about that here in just a second. I was able to figure out, there's this little thing right here with Flow. I'm still new to Flow. I just barely found out about it about a week or two ago. And I have a friend from Twitter. His name's Brady. Shout out to Brady. is kind of helping me figure this stuff out. So he saw my tweet about the fact that I was excited about my app, this app being close to finished. Like, I say close to finished, meaning like this thing functions. There could be way better ways that I can code it, but it works, right? And that was the kind of goal, get it working. And then if I can work with somebody that can show me how to code better, or what, because these are things where my concern is I'm going to get into the differences between a specific developers. It's nothing against Brady. It's just like, I know, like, engineers overall, like, they have their preference. And so you're dealing with whether it's, and this is something that I need to figure out. I need to figure out, is it preference? Is it a developer's preference? Or, you know, because they have their understanding of how architecture or, you know, certain principles work. And so then they have what they do in their dev shop. So there's a lot of layers that I need to figure out. Like, so is this standard practice, or is this something that is a preference, or is this like a shop normal thing? Because everybody codes things different, because you have architecture, and then sometimes architecture means nothing, and some dev shops will just do whatever they think works best for them. So there is the main architecture, MVVM, MVI, MVP, those things. Those are the main ones, but there are a lot of dev shops that focus on building their own because it works for their use case. So anyways, I'm blabbing at this point. So Brady, thank you. I'm excited to chat with you about what I can do to better the app. By the way, I just want to give a shout out to developers that want to focus on helping after they've gotten a dev job and they've gotten situated in their career, and they're helping out other developers either on YouTube or Twitch. Because when I'm done fully with this app, I'm basically going to reprogram the whole thing just as a repetition thing, but I'm going to probably do it on Twitch because I'm thinking about just coding live there, building a community there, and posting like small how-tos on YouTube for coding. But yeah, so if that stuff interests you, let me know. I've been getting some subscribers lately, that's pretty dope. So thank you to everybody that subscribes. And again, I'm blabbing. So let's go ahead and dive in here. I should have got me something to drink. My good Lord. I might have to do that. I'm super parched. I'm going to have to chat a lot. So let's go ahead and turn up this. What is this audio? Okay, let me turn that up, and I'll just control the volume here with Spotify. There we go. Hold on a minute. Get some weird stuff here. There's something weird going on with this audio. I think it's just to my Bluetooth part, but that's weird. It was working before. I'll have to figure it out. But I'll be back, guys. I'm gonna give you something to drink. This is like totally messing up my momentum. I should have got something to drink, so I apologize. Give me just a bare minute. Should say very bad. hoping you guys are getting, because this stuff sounds like time is slowing down, so I hope you guys aren't getting that same sound. Hopefully. Anywho. Alright, so back to the app. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Let me just show you. So essentially, I was also able to basically build out the repository, insert, to do. I mean, these are self-explanatory, but because you don't want to run them on the main thread, so you do coroutines, and basically it runs it in the background on a separate thread. Is what I understand it to do. Okay. So let's go to the DAO. So we're playing the queries and what I'm doing. So that's right here. So essentially, the way it was explained to me is room as a library. Basically, yeah, there we go. Sweet. So the way it was explained to me is room essentially is a plugin for Android Studio in a way where you can write an easy to read code and it translates it to SQL. But there's SQLite where it does the opposite. You write in SQL and it will translate it to the necessary Android code. So that's pretty cool. But I find this to be easier. I don't mind writing SQL. That part's not an issue. I just want it to be very seamless, easy to read code. That's what I care about. So, but with this query right here, we're selecting everything from the database where completed equals 0. So that basically means all completed are false. So that means we can get all of them in the regular lists of to-dos. Why? Because they're not completed, right? So, excuse me. That's probably not the best idea for a stream. Okay, and then we have this one right here, get all completed to-dos, becomes self-explanatory. Now, some might ask, well, why aren't you doing a true or false Boolean? And that is because SQL does not accept, what are they called? I want to say like primal types, but it's something types. It's certain data types. They're like the basic or the base data types. Anyways, there's terminology that I'm missing, but a Boolean is not supported in SQL, so it translates it to zeros and ones. So 0, 1, 0, 1, so 0 is false, 1 is 0. 0 is false, 1 is true. Then you got insert to do, delete all to dos, etc. So, all right, so we got that part done. Then basically I'm doing this is me trying to build something in an MVVM model. So I have a view model. And essentially what we're doing is everything that I'm trying to do is just essentially talking to the repository. And it just continues to separate that level of concern or separate the level of responsibility. So the view model handles pretty much everything. And then you just call the methods within the fragment. So this fab is the floating action button clicked, right? This guy. And it brings up a bottom sheet. And I'm actually using a buddy of mine's library, material dialogues. So that it's just a really awesome. Shout out to Aiden. Thanks, man. So yeah, it works really well. And as you can see, I can just make a to-do. So this is a test to-do. I haven't mapped the return key to, or this keyboard. I know I could do that, and when you hit enter, it does it, but I haven't done that yet. So hit save, and voila, there we go. There's two features though, as you can tell, that I need to basically get. Well, you may not tell that, but so right now it's showing the time as a regular time and date. And I want to have a switch in here that says, instead of delete all to-dos, it'd be like, switch between regular time and military time. Now, that's something where I would want to take this menu here and probably have instead of an overflow menu, I'd probably want to do like a gear icon and go to the settings to delete the to-dos in addition to switching between regular time and military time. So, I've already shown what, clicking the floating action button does. So it brings up the bottom sheet, and then it creates the to-do. It puts it in the database. And then the next thing you have here, you click on it, right? So you click on it, it opens up the bottom sheet, and it brings in that to-do. And if I were to add some O's here and maybe a couple exclamation points, I hit save, and it updates the to-do. So instead of adding another one, I had a bug where at first it would add it and add an additional one, and I was able to fix that. This is what really excites me. Like, this is very simple. This is all I want. I just want a database, and it just builds it. Or just, you put it in the database, and boom. Super quick access to information. It's really nice. So now we want to go ahead and we want to complete it, right? Because we completed the test to do, and voila. Look at that. Snack bar at the bottom, and it's gone. I was going to hit undo, but I was talking, and so I'll just do it again. But we go to complete it, and look. Not only are they showing completed, but you see this radio button. If I were to undo it, it removes it. Undo, adds it back, and there we go. And then when we let that finish, we go back to create, and there it is. So that functionality works really well. I'm excited about it. The next thing I want to show you as we go to create is delete. So we want to delete the to-do. It asks you if you want to delete it. Say okay, and we want to, made a mistake, so we undo it, and it puts it back. So that's literally it. Like, there's not a whole lot else that you want to do there. You want to delete it there, same thing, undo. And this was actually interesting. Let me kind of talk through that. So what I was able to do is learn something about, I want to say it's immutable data. Yeah. The immutable live data, and this is the status of whether there's a to-do or not in completed. And actually, I probably should do the same thing here in completed as I do in create. So when I delete it, there's no completed to-dos, undo, and there you go. So it was really cool to learn, is what kind of I'm excited about. And if you come down here to the completed fragment, what I'm doing is, let's see, so that's submitting the list, but what it's doing is observing the list, right? So if it's empty, we're gonna put this string in there, right? But if it's not empty, we're gonna make the string basically have nothing in it. So I know there's other things you can do, but this was the easiest thing I could think of, and it worked. So it was really exciting. And then let's see. So the status is also observing. I think this was the thing that didn't work for me. I think this is what's working because I'm observing the list, and while it's observing the list, it's doing this. So I think this is over. This code is not necessary here, because if I were to delete it and run it again, I believe this was the one that I got to work. So we'll see if that pans out here in just a second. There we go. Delete. Okay. Undo. Oh, okay. So that. Let's see. So. Okay. So here's the deal. So I have to have both of these because, and this is me digging into this because I want to make sure I understand it. So I have to observe the list to post the value, right? But then I'm also observing the status so that I can update the stat, like the actual, so this is, okay, so the first area here where I'm observing the list, this is just observing the list to set the value of the mutable live data object, right? But here, this right here, this is focusing on, I'm observing the status and then I'm setting the actual text field. So that is very interesting, and it would make more sense for me if this were here. Whoops. Whoops. There we go. Boom. Nice. Okay, so that way it's all the same thing, and actually it'd probably be easier if it was in its own method, but we won't worry about that right now. I'm not trying to refactor code right here on live, even though I just did that. But anyways, moving on. So that's really cool, and I was able to use interfaces. So a buddy of mine, Brady again, suggesting I could do something different, and I still got to talk to him about what I could do differently, because essentially what I have here is in the adapter, I am using interfaces. So I have these interfaces here, and I call them in the constructor of the adapter. I pass them into the view holder, and then I do basically on click stuff on that when the view is checked. So, but yeah, so I mean, this is it, guys. The last thing that I have to do is essentially, if it's, oh, this is a good question. So the logic here is, where do I apply the archiving of the to-dos after 24 hours? Now, the thing is to finish that, essentially, I want to do something that could schedule a task for every to-do, or so I understand it, is essentially the minute I create it, it takes that timestamp and it figures out where is 11:59 p.m., how far away is that, and then as soon as we hit 11:59, do we just delete that, or do we just create one task that goes to the database at 11:59, and 11:59, or 23:59, talking about the seconds, do we go ahead and delete everything that's in? Ooh, that's interesting, because what I'm doing is I'm essentially loading everything from one single database. Huh. Oh, but see, this is where I could actually filter through. So I delete only those that are not completed. Or I can make it simple. Well, no, because I think the whole point of why I wanted to make it disappear is because when I do things during the day, I just want something quick and easy, and, you know, blah, blah, blah. I know I use an iPhone. I get it. You're like, wait a minute, you use an iPhone. You don't use an Android device. I'm just building an app that makes sense to me, put it on the App Store, and people that have Android can use it. I will actually, my wife just switched her phone to iPhone, so I will actually have an Android device that I can use. So I'll be using that moving forward. Pretty excited about that. It's a modern, I think it's a Samsung, not a Note, Samsung S, not 20. It is a Note. I think it's the one without the pen. That's right. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, so I think by getting everything in the database, filtering by what's not completed, and archiving that. But see, I'm in between archiving and deleting, because if I do archiving and have to build a way for you to see the archived to-dos, that could essentially just be a separate tab. I could just add another tab for archive. I'm just trying to think through that right now. But at the face of where we're at right now, I think it just makes if we want to keep it stupid simple, it just makes sense to me for right now to clear all of the to-dos in the create tab at 11:59 and just delete them. Period. But I still think there's an idea that makes sense to archive them, which all that means is I have to add another column. So instead of completed being the last one, I would just add one that says archived, and it would be the same Boolean because it's either archived or it's not. So it's yes or no, true or false. I think that might work better. I'll have to think through that. Not sure about that one. But, I mean, you know, this is kind of new for me. I normally kind of do these streams a little bit longer, but that's really it. There's nothing to this app. I mean, the only thing that you would see is that I would delete all to-dos, and it deletes everything, so there's not going to be a one in created or completed. So that's the only thing that I haven't shown you, and it does do that. What's nice, though, is... or no, that doesn't happen. I have to increment the database version for it to do the... when I was showing the primary key, because the primary key gets automatically generated. As you can see, if we were to go to this guy here, this primary key is set to auto-generate, but apparently it's a thing in SQL, which I just learned, that it doesn't reset the primary key. That's really dumb. It's kind of an annoyance. It annoys me, but apparently that's a thing where the primary key just doesn't reset, and when you delete everything in the database, it just, like, if you have 50 items and it just goes to 51. It doesn't care. That's just weird, but whatever. So yeah, that's it. We're done. I appreciate those that are going to watch this later. If anybody dipped into the live stream while we're hanging out here, I mean, I appreciate you. Let me see what we got here. It's just that. I thought we had the... Uh-oh. Thought we had the stream window too. Okay, apparently not. Live stream, there we go. Oh, it was minimized. Alright. So it looks like somebody did dive back in. Hey, it was nice to have you. But anyways, thank you for joining. This is not going to finish the app. The app's not finished. As soon as I get it completely done and refactored, that'll be finished. There is going to be a stop point. That's going to be when I have the military time switch enabled and the separate fragment entirely, where we go to a whole separate fragment so that we can delete all to-dos and settings and switch from military time to regular time. I got to figure out how to do that. But that's it. There's really nothing else that I want, and then adding the archive. So that part will be super simple because I'm really just copying code that I've already done, and then from there, archive, you know, just it's another query, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I know I keep looking at the screen. I need to remember to look at the camera. So yeah, that's it. That's all I have left for that. So y'all have a wonderful night. It was great hanging out. For those that are gonna hang out and just chill with me in the background, thank you. If you're interested in code, this is what I'm doing. I am trying to immerse myself in development, creating content, learning how to do this, and etc., etc. So thank you so much. You guys have a great one, and I'll catch you next time.